So it's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have two other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience.
Welcome back to AllStarBuzz. Thank you for joining us, and let's begin. Blake Lively is reportedly in a state of shock following Justin Baldoni's latest move in the high-stakes legal battle that has captivated the public for months. According to reports, Baldoni, known for his work as an actor and director, has just unveiled newly uncovered material that he believes could completely shift the direction of his ongoing lawsuit against Lively and Ryan Reynolds. If successful, the suit could be worth up to a staggering $400 million. At the heart of this drama is an adaptation of a best-selling novel, described by insiders as a powerful story of heartbreak, second chances, and deep emotional connections. Baldoni had long dreamed of directing and co-producing this cinematic venture through his production company, pouring resources into adapting every layered character and plot twist. When Blake Lively signed on to star, anticipation skyrocketed. It seemed like a dream collaboration, uniting beloved actors with a story that had a massive fan base eager for a faithful big-screen retelling. But behind the scenes, tensions were brewing. Conflicts reportedly arose over script changes Lively wanted to make, aiming to align the film more closely with her vision or address concerns about how certain themes would be handled. At first, these discussions about rewrites and tone seemed like typical creative differences for a project of this scale. However, rumors soon swirled that Lively was pushing for changes that strayed far from the original concept. According to Baldoni, the novel's protagonist was meant to be a young entrepreneur struggling to make ends meet, a stark contrast to the high-fashion wardrobe choices Lively advocated for. These luxurious, expensive outfits clashed with the character's practical, financially strained lifestyle. Baldoni claims he tried to accommodate Lively's preferences as much as possible, not wanting to stifle her creative input. But when paparazzi photos from the set leaked online, fans of the novel were quick to criticize the costuming, expressing confusion and frustration over the glaring mismatch between the source material and what was being filmed. In a surprising twist, Ryan Reynolds, Lively's husband and a Hollywood heavyweight, allegedly became a major influence on the project, despite not being officially credited as a producer. Reynolds has vowed to present clear evidence of cooperative chats, friendly banter, and a professional rapport that he says proves there was no wrongdoing on his part. But as tensions reached a boiling point, the world learned of Baldoni's sweeping legal counteraction, valued at a jaw-dropping $400 million. He's accusing Lively, Reynolds, and others in their circle of orchestrating a coordinated smear campaign, claiming these tactics tarnished his reputation and jeopardized future collaborations. What makes this even juicier is the suggestion that behind the debates over wardrobe, lines, and costuming lies a much deeper power struggle. Baldoni's complaint alleges that Lively, emboldened by Reynolds' support, aimed to steer the production in her preferred direction, possibly using the film as a vehicle to reinforce her own creative vision. What began as a spirit of cooperation during pre-production reportedly devolved into factions on set, with some crew members siding with Baldoni's interpretation and others backing Lively's viewpoint. The newly unveiled documentation from Baldoni is expected to reveal just how collaborative, or, in his account, consistently undermined, his relationship with Lively truly was. One incident in particular highlights the tensions that apparently boiled over. Baldoni and his team had planned a pivotal rooftop scene, crucial to the story's emotional arc. However, Lively's group reportedly disliked its tone, pushing for major alterations, and even calling in high-profile friends for input. Baldoni claims the group delivered a completely rewritten scene overnight, blindsiding him with comedic elements that strayed far from the poignant moments he had envisioned. When Baldoni resisted the changes, Lively allegedly accused him of being unwilling to listen to female voices on set. Baldoni vehemently denies this, pointing to evidence he says shows his constant willingness to collaborate. For him, the issue wasn't collaboration. It was being pressured to adopt last-minute revisions that clashed with the script's emotional core. The so-called meltdown at Lively and Reynolds' residence allegedly began with a heated argument over costuming, stunts, and physical details for a demanding sequence. Baldoni claims Reynolds confronted him with hostile remarks, accusing him of being insensitive and overstepping boundaries. Baldoni insists his only goal was to ensure logistical arrangements for safety, but Lively and Reynolds reportedly interpreted these discussions as personal criticism. They took offense, and the conflict quickly escalated into a bitter exchange. Lively later pointed to this confrontation as evidence of a toxic atmosphere on set, using it to bolster her claims about Baldoni's approach. Baldoni, however, dismisses this interpretation entirely, framing it as a misunderstanding that was twisted to discredit him. But the drama doesn't stop there. The lawsuit also implicates Lively's publicity team, including her longtime representative, in a coordinated effort to leak unflattering stories about Baldoni. He claims his own press team had to scramble to counter the flood of negative headlines, while production sponsors grew wary of associating their names with a project mired in controversy. According to Baldoni, these calculated moves caused severe financial damage to him and his company, forming the basis of his $400 million lawsuit. At its core, this legal battle is a clash of artistic visions, fueled by egos, financial stakes, and the powerful influence of public opinion. No matter how the lawsuit ends, it's already become a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing personal connections with professional collaborations. What was once hailed as a prestigious adaptation starring a major Hollywood icon has been completely overshadowed by controversy. It's a stark reminder of the complex dynamics that can derail even the most promising film projects. Industry insiders note that while conflicts are common behind Hollywood's glittering curtains, they rarely escalate to this level of very public dispute, complete with multi-million-dollar demands and allegations of elaborate efforts to ruin reputations. For now, all eyes are on the potential game-changing proof that Baldoni insists will validate his stance and leave no doubt about the sincerity of his motives. If these revelations sway both legal and public opinion, Lively may be forced to revise her account or risk losing significant ground in the ongoing battle. That tension, combined with the possibility of explosive statements from additional witnesses, is why so many are glued to every development, eagerly awaiting the next shocking headline. Some are even questioning whether this upheaval might lead to new clauses in Hollywood contracts, specifically addressing the boundaries of creative input, especially when a star's partner or friends exert off-the-record influence. From Lively's perspective, this new wave of information might feel like an unwelcome test of her credibility. Even if she stands by her version of events, the court of public opinion can be fickle, especially when confronted with texts, recordings, or other evidence that contradicts her official stance. Still, her supporters argue that once all the details come to light, a fuller truth will emerge, one in which she felt compelled to protect her interests in what she describes as a challenging production environment. Reynolds, too, might face increased scrutiny about his involvement, particularly if evidence shows his role was more hands-on than initially disclosed. Meanwhile, fans of the original source material can only watch with bated breath, unsure whether the adaptation they've long awaited will survive intact or be permanently derailed by the controversy. Until these questions are answered, the clearest insights come from court filings and carefully worded statements released by both sides. Speculation is running wild, but the introduction of fresh documentary material could shift the dispute into a more concrete phase. If Baldoni produces conclusive evidence showing that Lively was once enthusiastic about the script and fully engaged in shaping its direction, it could dramatically alter the narrative. If Baldoni's evidence shows that Lively was once enthusiastic about the script and actively involved in shaping its direction, her claims of being blindsided or misrepresented might appear far less convincing. On the other hand, if Lively's lawyers can prove that Baldoni selectively edited or withheld context from his newly released evidence, the tide could turn in her favor. The stakes are sky high, ensuring that lawyers on both sides will meticulously dissect every message, phone memo, or snippet of dialogue introduced into the record. For now, the situation remains fluid. with each new development revealing deeper layers of a conflict that might have been resolved through private conversations before it exploded into a full-blown legal spectacle. The star-studded cast of characters, from Baldoni and Lively to Reynolds and possibly others not yet publicly named, guarantees that the headlines will keep coming. Financial compensation, reputational survival, and the fate of a beloved literary adaptation now hang in the balance. Meanwhile, speculation is growing that influential figures in the industry are deeply concerned about the precedent this high-profile lawsuit could set. The focus on personal conflicts risks overshadowing the core goal of creating engaging, meaningful stories. As the countdown to court dates continues, one big question lingers. Will the new evidence truly change the outcome? Or will it just spark the next round of public sparring in a saga that's already left a massive mark on Hollywood's collective consciousness? From the sidelines, film executives and literary agents are quietly assessing the fallout. Some worry that future collaborations involving these high-profile personalities could suffer, given the lingering mistrust and the intense spotlight on behind-the-scenes drama. The original author of the source material, who had placed their trust in the project's creative team, has not publicly commented in detail, leaving fans of the novel to wonder how the writer feels about the unfolding chaos. Other actors linked to the film, or rumored to have cameo appearances, are also staying silent, likely waiting to see if the production can still be salvaged. Industry gossip suggests that scheduled shooting dates have either been indefinitely postponed or canceled altogether, though official announcements about the project's status remain vague. Meanwhile, social media chatter is in overdrive. Some commenters express solidarity with Lively, emphasizing the importance of respecting an actress's right to shape her portrayal. Others side with Baldoni, arguing that a director's vision shouldn't be compromised by external interference. Both camps are fixated on the mention of newly released material, speculating whether it will deliver a smoking gun or fall flat as a dud. Online platforms are buzzing with conspiracy theories. Some claim the entire dispute is a manufactured publicity stunt, while others suggest private vendettas may have fueled the conflict from the start. Away from the public eye, lawyers are undoubtedly working around the clock, sifting through data that could either strengthen or dismantle the claims at hand. Whether the lawsuit proceeds to a full trial or is settled in arbitration remains unclear. What's certain is that the stakes are astronomical. This kind of high-dollar litigation could send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Some speculate that new insurance policies might be created to cover legal fallout from on-set conflicts, while others predict that star contracts will include more explicit language to prevent these explosive disagreements. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for how creative disputes are handled when major personalities clash over the delicate process of adapting beloved source material. For now, the situation grows more complex by the day, as leaks, allegations, and strategic legal moves keep the drama at the forefront of public discourse. One thing is certain, the tension is mounting, and so are the tabloid headlines. With both Baldoni and Lively firmly entrenched in their narratives, hopes for a swift resolution are fading, replaced by the looming possibility of a long, drawn-out legal standoff. If Baldoni's newest evidence resonates with the public and holds up in legal proceedings, Lively may face an uphill battle to defend her version of events. Yet, if her legal team can poke holes in Baldoni's proof or present compelling counter-evidence, he might struggle to secure the dramatic vindication he's seeking. Observers can only watch in fascination as both sides ramp up their strategies, waiting for the moment when all the facts come to light. Will this tumultuous tale finally find closure, or will it drag on, overshadowing what was once envisioned as a heartfelt, cinematic adaptation? Interestingly, the situation also raises questions about how the streaming era, with its endless distribution models, might influence the parties' strategies. In a world where prestige streaming services compete for exclusive content, even a controversial film might find a platform eager to capitalize on public interest. On the flip side, controversy could also sink a project's viability if executives decide the negative press outweighs the potential rewards. For Baldoni, the stakes are enormous, both financially and creatively. He's not just seeking monetary restitution, but also aiming to restore his tarnished reputation. Lively, a beloved figure among mainstream audiences, faces the risk that even unproven allegations could linger in the public's memory, especially with media cycles endlessly hungry for intrigue. Reynolds' stake in this drama, though more indirect, is no less significant. His name is now tangled in a public fight that could have repercussions far beyond this single project. As for fans, they're left wondering if the story they love will ever get its chance to shine, or if it will fade into a cautionary tale about how a grand cinematic vision devolved into mudslinging and legal chaos. The next steps in this drama remain a mystery, and with so much rumor and innuendo swirling, only time, and perhaps a judge's ruling, will reveal where the truth ultimately lies. Whatever the outcome, this saga has already left an indelible mark on everyone involved. Careers may shift, alliances may dissolve, and the future of the film itself hangs in the balance. Blake Lively's reported anxiety over Baldoni's newly disclosed materials highlights just how high the stakes have become. If it's confirmed that she misrepresented key details or orchestrated misleading tactics, the fallout could extend far beyond this single project, potentially reshaping her entire career trajectory. The same is true for Baldoni, whose bold legal strategy could backfire if his evidence fails to convince. For fans who once simply wanted to see a beloved story brought to life on screen, the dream has turned into a full-blown spectacle of Hollywood infighting on a massive scale. As both sides wage war in the court of public opinion and behind closed judicial doors, one thing is certain: the final resolution, whenever it arrives, will leave a lasting imprint on the film industry. It will also set a precedent for how top-tier artists navigate creative conflicts in an era where even private disagreements can explode into major public controversies. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment.